Okay.
Something's not right with her.
Okay, well, let's go get started then tonight.
All right.
So we're going to cover mentoring this week. This is probably one of the things I'm most excited about for the changes.
Yes.
It's a lot better. Let me see.
Oh, she texted you.
Yeah, she texted
Linda. Oh, I see it. It blurped on and off. I can't read it anymore. She's on that chat.
Yep.
Hello?
There she is.
Yay, Linda's here.
I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I tried to get rid of the mic, and the other night Glenn said to do Alt L, I thought, and I did that, and it worked. I'm having trouble. Sorry.
That's okay. We got you here now. Okay, so mentoring.
Mentoring.
Yes. Okay, so the mentoring program has been revised, which is much needed. It has a lot more support. And this will be broken down to 4 different projects. And we'll kind of go through each one. The first one, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring, is actually required. And that's level 2. Then you have Prepare to Mentor, and then just Mentoring and Advanced Mentoring. So, Introduction Mentoring. In the project, and this is actually straight from the project text. So you will learn about mentorship and gain an understanding of the role of mentors and proteges, as well as insight into your potential as a Toastmaster mentor. Now, when we add, each one of these projects does require an actual speech to be done as well. Meaning no more assign a mentor and forget about it. This is, you actually have to commit to your mentoring, which I feel is awesome. Now in this, there is actually a pre and post mentoring project evaluations, as there is with almost any project with pathways. They're going to rank how they feel as a mentor and really help make sure they can grow. This diagram is common through all the projects, making sure they understand the difference between coaching and mentoring.
Oh.
Which I felt was a great touch, because you'll have mentors who try to coach, and they won't quite get the correct point across that they need to. I like the first one, focus on a short-term goal as a coach, which is the idea, or as mentoring, it's focused on multiple long-term goals. And that's just one of my favorites in this. Preparing to mentor and mentoring, these are optional projects that any members can do through levels 3 and 4. It's actually one of the electives I figured out. So it can go in any of the paths. So once again, straight from the text, just prepare to mentor. I'll focus your clarity, personal goals, and interests as it relates to mentoring others, which is good. You don't want someone doing it for the wrong reasons. And then the mentoring portion, once again, focusing on facilitating short-term mentoring assignment. This will see the first actual mentoring come into play by a member. So in order to give a mentor, they have to do that first project in level 2. Then you have to do prepare to mentor to make sure they're actually ready for the mentoring experience. Now, with the mentoring project here, it will be a speech by both the mentor and the mentee with the experience. So it's going to hold everyone accountable. And then advanced mentoring. This will really see a 6-term mentor. Make sure they actually follow through. And you have to record the dates. You have to record the meeting notes. You have to do all that and turn into the VPE to prove that you did mentor this Toastmaster. Which I can say is, when I started the VPE last year, that would have been very helpful. Having people be held accountable to the mentoring they're doing. So a little bit more with the advanced mentoring. Once again, evaluations. These are huge in pathways. You'll see the mentor and the mentee will both rate the experience, because the mentor needs to know how to grow, obviously. There's monthly checklists mentors have to fill out. There's a scheduling guide. There's a success plan, all that built into the project. Now, let me see if I can show you. Tom Calling is my favorite person with this virtual support session. He did something he was not supposed to do. He actually sent me the projects. So I can show you what
that's rolled out already, Jacob?
I believe he's in a club, an online club that has been rolled out already.
Okay, that's why he has access to them.
Uh-huh. Or
Gotcha.
someone else sent that to him.
Gotcha.
Either way, he wasn't supposed to do this, but he did.
Okay.
And I'm not going to complain. So, when you get a path, this is what it's going to look like. Or a project, I should say. So advanced mentoring is a level 5 project. And these right here, you're going to see, you know, video, interactive activity, resource online. Those will be things actually built into the online pathways. So if a member is going in on doing the advanced mentoring project, they'll have the access to these different things. So right here, interactive activity, where you're going to rate yourself pre and post project. Then competencies, it's going to give you the text again, track your meetings, do the evaluations.
Jacob, I have a question. This is Donnie.
Yes.
Now, what you're showing us is actually something we would get if we were doing the program. Do we then download this particular book into our computers? Or how does that work?
Let me...
Because this reminds me of the books that we already get, where we download the digital version.
Yeah, I think this is one that is actually a print version.
Oh, okay.
And this is the online, the digital copy of the print version.
Oh.
So if you're doing the online portal, this will just be built in there for you already.
Okay, can we copy it if we wanted to?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
Because I guess what I'm seeing is I see a whole lot of reading that I would love to be using highlighters and underlining and laying in bed with a cup of coffee reading it. But yet I want the best of both worlds, so I'd like to keep it digital, but I'd somehow want to print it off so that I could.
You want to read it 3 times, Donnie. I know you.
Yeah, I know. Then, you know, every color highlighter I own, I want to put on there. Plus my 4-color pen.
Well, that's your learning style, so.
Right. So I'll be happy if I could print that off.
Yeah. And one thing I've seen through my own, because with being a Pathways guide, I have different tasks I have to complete, much like a path. And most of it is PDFs, so you can just print them off.
Oh, great. Good.
Now, I can't say for sure, being that I haven't seen the actual paths yet, but knowing what I have seen, it's mostly PDFs. So I think what I like the most about this project, let me find it in here, is the mentor's evaluation or post evaluation. Here, right here. That's mentoring evaluation for protege. I like this for the mentor. They get to actually evaluate their mentee. You know, is the mentee actually trying? Are they open for communication? So to me, this just puts more stress on both parties to be responsible. I think Linda's trying to talk, but we can't hear her.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and her thing doesn't show muted this time either.
No.
So I don't know what's going on. We can't hear you, Linda. We see your mouth moving. Oh, here, she's gonna chat. There, Linda, to everyone. I know, trying to fix. Okay.
Okay, last time Glenn said all no, I mean, I'm still in my. Where's Rex?
Oh, I hear a little bit.
I heard her for a second, but she disappeared again. Yeah, I'm afraid if we had 50 people on here, this could get tricky.
Once again, I'd be okay with the issue, though. Because then people are getting the information they need for pathways.
That's right. Jacob, I was already keeping track of all the dates that I mentored people, and I took notes, and I typed those notes up, so I have a string of notes that I would send. It'd be like a note and then adding on to the note, so eventually it became like an 8-page document. So keeping track of all those visits and stuff, I don't know that that's going to be a whole lot different for me other than, you know, these monthly goal checks that you've just now got on your screen, or the evaluation at the end.
Yeah.
I've never really done anything like that, but I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah, and actually Claire has trained all of us, because Claire's the one who taught me to be a mentor. So I'm doing what she does. And then she's also trained others at Capital Voices with the same process. So we already do a lot of this. And when Claire trained me, she also gave me a thing that was printed off where I signed a commitment and my mentee signed a commitment.
Yeah, that's the standard paperwork that's out there for the current program. And we use that.
Yeah, not everyone does that, though.
Yeah, no, Claire has trained Capital Voices thoroughly with all of the tracking.
A lot of them have. I don't know, like Mike, I didn't mentor Mike, so Mike does things a little bit different, but he's a really good mentor when it comes to actually listening to somebody's speech and giving them really good feedback. That's his strong suit, but I don't know about whether he's doing the paperwork like I do it. But that's okay. I think having that paperwork is good.
It is.
I wouldn't argue
that it'll help guide people to know what to do.
Yes, I agree. I'm going to start mentoring Karen Meyer next Friday, and so I'll kind of keep that in mind.
I'm liking the success plan here as well, just because it gives short, long, and medium goals.
Oh, okay.
I have no way of rotating it.
That's a lot of goals.
Oh, you know, obviously not to fill all of them, but it's good to have room for them at least.
Sure. What's that?
And then meeting notes. Take a look at the introduction to the mentoring project here.
Cool.
So looking at the assessment. There's some good text there. I do like, well,
the benefits.
Yep. As well, let's talk about virtual mentoring, or because maybe you can't actually meet with a person all the time. Talk about being a good protege. I mean, this project is pretty easy, but it does make them think.
I've never really thought about this coaching versus mentoring. I'm going to have to really look at that. I'd say that's a weak spot for me.
And we can see right here, when we actually have access to pathways, it's a video as well.
Oh, that's good, because that's an area that I would have said that they were very similar.
No, quite different.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, and it's like, yikes. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still trainable.
And
There's
then
the
it's kind of like the Prepared Mentor project here, level 3. Once again, an assessment. They're all about you keeping track of your growth. Are you ready to be a mentor? Do you put the protege first? I'm not sure why they use protege instead of mentee now, but okay.
Yeah.
It sounds fancier, we'll just say that's why.
Now, other people might have found mentor and mentee as confusing, especially English as a second language.
That's true.
So they may have changed it to be a completely different word.
Once we see the setting goals project, or portion, milestones, self-assessment, complete an honest assessment. I think that's one point some members may struggle with, is being honest with themselves and how if they're prepared to be a mentor or not.
Interesting.
Project checklist, self-assessment in here.
Seems like a lot of the same steps at each of the levels. It's just
Reinforcing.
yeah, reinforcing. Repetition is a good learning tool, so, or the same format, I should say.
It is.
Self-assessment.
Then the short-term mentoring project, level 4. It's basically 2, 3, 4, and 5 is where you can mentor. Or learn about mentoring at least.
You're scrolling kind of fast. I can't read that fast.
Yeah, well, this is the same assessment.
Okay.
They have you do pre and post all the projects. I like this. It puts the competencies for the mentor as well.
Yes, that's good.
Steps to become a better leader. Promote independent thinking. That's one big difference between coaching and mentoring. Mentoring, you're more promoting that thinking aspect rather than just telling them what to do.
I see. Telling a story. Yeah, I might tend to sometimes give too much guidance.
No, I'm going to send these out, but I was told not to send these out, so you
That's
will
okay.
not have access to these.
That's fine. We don't want to get you in trouble, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, as we see, though, mentoring becomes a whole lot better through pathways.
I think there's more accountability.
There's a lot more accountability. Are there any questions at this point?
So I think I saw something on that forum that mentoring is kind of like a mini path of its own, that it's not really even though it's part of levels 1 and 2 in every path? Do you remember that question, Jacob?
Okay, so that, let me pull up a document to kind of illustrate it a little better.
Okay. I read that yesterday or today, I think.
So, there we go. Level 2 is the only one where it's required. The mentoring project.
Okay.
Right there. Introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. Level 2 is required.
Okay.
Level, the other ones
Those
are
elective.
elective projects that you can do. So if you want to do the prepare to mentor, that'd be, level 3, mentoring level 4.
I don't see it on the level 3.
This is a condensed list
Oh,
for different paths.
sorry.
I mean, let me see. I do have the master list in here somewhere.
Holy cow. Oh, those are the competencies. Yeah.
Oh, this isn't the one I was wanting.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you want the.
I can just show you. I have a lot of different things in here.
Well, I'm sure you have information overload. That's why I like getting it in little bits.
Nope. That was a script I'm supposed to use, but I don't use. I don't use scripts. But they wanted me to use one. I was like, no. Here we go. Here's a 66-page document I was looking for.
Okay, I'll have to make it bigger here. Let's see.
Can we have a copy of that?
Yes.
Could you just send that like in an attachment to on an email?
Yes, I can. Now that I
I
remember which
think
one.
that might be helpful. What do you think, Claire?
Sure. Let's see, there's level 3. Or let's see, level 3.
Yeah, this really, actually, this document helps me wrap my mind around some things that you've been saying. It really connects some dots.
But I don't see the mentoring on that list there either.
Well, this is dynamic leadership. These
Oh,
are the different electives available in dynamic leadership.
So it depends on the path.
Mm-hmm. So they don't just give you 300 choices every time.
oh, and this is the path for the effective coaching.
Yep. And so,
Oh, I like this. This is interesting. I like this. And so do you have the different paths in this 62-page PDF?
uh-huh.
I like that. I would love to have a copy of this.
Yeah, and so I will send this out to you. See, I really think there's more than what's listed on here, because the whole mentoring ones I haven't seen those on here yet.
No, and it's like, seeing if the fact that it doesn't have the mentoring would lead me to not want to do that path. Because I'd like to become even, I feel like I'm a good mentor, but how about, striving to be great?
Yeah.
Like always improving.
Let me refer to this document that you guys should have already.
I think we have that one. That looks
Yes,
familiar.
I hand this
Yeah,
one.
I have a copy of it. You gave it to us at the Division C.
Yep, I hand this on at every meeting I do.
Let me look here.
I guess I saved everything. I haven't printed the big things. I printed some smaller documents.
Project.
I don't know. I mean, I'm still going through a lot of this at the same time you guys are. Because what I do is I see a great document, I save it, and then I kind of forget about it.
Well, we'll figure that out because on that pathway paths and brief project description document that you gave us, it's a 6-page document. We might be able to filter through that and find where the mentoring.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, the one you gave us, the 6-page one I'm looking at, my brain can't wrap around it. I think it's written like if you were a computer.
Well, it makes.
I like it when it's linear, like that page, that 66 page. I understand that. But
Yeah,
when it has all these little squares and.
I didn't want to print out 66 pages of every person, no.
Yeah, I don't have any
been...
intentions of printing out that big of a document, but I'll read it online because I have a regular size computer, so I can read it.
Yeah.
I can't highlight it then, but if I found a page that I really wanted, I could print one page. Because so much of it is repetition.
It is, and that's what's going to make it easier is its repetition. Let me see if I can do this. Is going to look for it. Okay, so level 2 mentoring. Huh. So those were not included.
At a glance.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's going to be on this 6-page document. I have enough detail.
I think that when I read this one that's in front of us, then this other one that says pathways, paths, and brief project descriptions, and that last one at a glance, all paths at a glance, I think it's going to make more sense.
It will.
Is what I'm thinking.
But I can see you don't want to just jump into a path for the heck of it.
No.
I think we're going to want to...
I like this big document too because it gives descriptions for each project.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
You know what you're getting into.
So I think that's a key point is study the paths carefully.
Well, and these are just the projects you can have done.
Yeah, paths and project options. Carefully. Before selecting a path. Okay, that's something I want to remember that.
But yeah, I mean, I have that one. Yeah, this one I have up already. I think it was this one I have. The daunting list of all 300 paths or competencies. This tells you what. I'll send this one out as well to you. This shows what's actually being worked on.
Yeah, you'd think that the word mentoring would be in a competency someplace along the line there.
Yeah, and this one's not searchable, so yeah, I will send these 2 documents out to you guys.
Now, which 2 is that again? This is
the pathways competencies and pathways catalog. I'll add these are things that International did not create themselves, but rather others who have access went through the time and created these documents. I'm just trying to think of any other things I could share here with you. That's that one I keep pulling up.
Boy, am I glad I didn't sign up to be a guide.
Yeah.
I would not. That would have been a joke. This is a lot.
My capability, but I'm learning by using Zoom on the other end, so I think that's really good to force ourselves to do this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good, but I'm not ready to teach others.
Well, I don't understand enough yet, but
I really do think this will be one thing that It'll be best to understand once you can actually go and play around with it yourself.
Yes, I'm sure that's true. But we're still a month and a half away, so.
Yeah. Unless, let me check here the rollout date, see if they moved it at all.
I just saw something today. It looked like it was still April 18th.
I thought it was like the 26th.
Yeah, the 18th is moved up.
It did move up.
See, I thought the 18th was the date we were given before.
No, it was originally the week after.
Yeah, the 26th, I think. Wow.
Which means we're on track to get sooner. Which is awesome, but also scary.
That means it'll be rolling out before conference. Because the conference is like the 21st or 22nd.
Yeah.
Right. That week. Holy cow. Well.
So basically, conference will just be all buzz about what Pathways is.
Oh, yeah. That'll be the buzz.
Which is good. It'll get people motivated to do it.
Well, and I think
it might be nice if there was, the guides had a booth set up so that, you know, maybe even 2 guides at a time or something, so that one person isn't stuck the whole conference. But anyway, so that we can go, and it's kind of like an Ask Me booth, you know, about the pathways. Since we'll have it rolled out, we could just swing by and ask whatever guide is sitting there, by the way, this came across this, what about this? That might actually be an incentive to go to conference. If people know the rollout is the 18th, and there's going to be help there, like booths or something, where you can just pop in and ask your questions. If I were not signed up, it would definitely be an incentive for me to sign up, but I've already signed up, so.
I think it depends on the person's, whether they're looking forward to this, but dealing with change is difficult for a lot of people. And I'm usually one of those, but I'm trying to use the suggestion that I put in my speech about dealing with change that's called embrace the change, learn as much as you can about it. So that's why I'm attending these.
Donnie, I actually really like your idea. I'm saying it to Glenn right now.
Yeah, because Glenn's not on tonight, so he wouldn't have heard that.
He's probably on the conference call. He should be on right now as well, but I don't have anything to add to it.
So next week is base camp managers.
The next 2 weeks are actually base camp managers.
Oh, that's right. I do remember you said that there was so much material.
There is. And my hope is to actually get the presidents, VPEs, and secretaries from all 4 clubs on here. That's a lofty goal, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Then the following week, I'm going to do a whole session about the badges and awards. So that's a brand new concept we're introducing in here.
Yeah, that's new. I think the base camp managers, I think part of that will probably show how important it is that you have the correct people to be president, VPE, and secretary. Donnie and I have talked about that a little bit. That if you're VP, I mean, just like, you know, you're only going to get a 5 to 7 minute slot.
Yeah.
At the end of March, and that's, you know, Donnie and I know full well that's not enough, and it's like,
No, first tier is given. I was given 15 minutes at first tier, and part of those deal with technical issues as well.
And 15 minutes is like drop in the bucket for that 45 minutes.
I know. I also was happy that Fairview and Strictly Speaking gave me the full time I needed.
Yeah, that was nice.
Fairview actually went way longer than I expected, which is okay.
I'd rather than be stuck with a 5 to 7 or a 15 minutes. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Jacob. I'll look for those handouts, and thanks for helping helping Tuesday night. I really appreciate it. I made a note.
Okay. So I have a note here on my desk as well.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Jacob.
Donnie, I talked to Pam. We're okay.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
We'll talk more tomorrow.
All righty.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Linda.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Linda.
Bye.